All right, so I'll be honest. What I want to do is I just want to gush about Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit. Because this game is incredible. It might be one of the best games I've literally ever played. And that's not trying to gush on it because of its popularity. It's really just that damn good. That is my current feelings toward it. I'm just past Moonrise Towers. Technically, I'm just past Act 1. I just finished Moonrise Towers. And that's how far I am on one of my playthroughs. So that's where I'm at. There is still, hopefully, a lot left, a lot more to enjoy, and I'll be able to have a more fuller opinion as I finish. But this game so far has been literally incredible. And I think the best way to talk about this isn't about talking about the best guide, the best build, how to do this encounter, how to do that encounter, how to get this cool, this best weapon, you know. Who cares? Right? Who gives a fuck if instead of doing 22 damage, you're doing 25 damage? No one gives a shit. Let's talk about the real meat of the game, the character interactions and the stories. Because the characters of the game so far, Will, Karlash, or Karlak, oh, I love her so much. I swear to God, when I can fix her. And I will give her a big hug once I won't literally be burned to death by doing so. Lizzie and Shadowheart are complete bitches. Gale seems cool for now. He keeps eating all my magical items. Halsum is a very nice dude who's just trying to do the right thing. Like, these characters and how they interact with each other are wonderful, wonderful. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about some stories about me playing the game, and just even some minor differences in encounters and the world that just make it that much better, that just make it that good, you know? And for that, I'm gonna need paint. Because, oh, that's the wrong menu. I'm going to need paint for this, because I want to talk about, first and foremost, the Knoll encounter on the north side past the Blighted Village. Right? There's a cave, there's some people stuck in it, they're throwing alchemist fire to block off the cave entrance, right? And there's some gnolls there, and there's, like, a bunch of them. Like, there's a ton of them. I think there is... Holy shit, I can't even see my cursor. Like, there's two of them standing out in front, there's one guy up here on, like, a cliffside, there's another one over here, there's two hyenas, and then, like, a third gnoll just eating on some dude's corpse right here, and then there's a guy standing in front of like some weird war paint, and he's the big bad, he's the boss of the encounter, right? So the first thing that happened, the first playthrough when I went through this area, what did I end up doing is I was just trying to save my own ass. I didn't know what was happening, I didn't know what was going on, I was just trying to save my own ass. I walk up here, and this guy talks to me. And your little parasite guy goes, oh, connects with him, and then you see what a gnoll sees. He sees the world as meat. That's all the gnoll sees the world as. He just sees the world as meat. And I was playing a two-handed fighter, very original. I know, two-handed, big sword, big fun. That's me. And I went, oh shit, trying to save my own skin. Maybe the guys in the cave can help us. You know what's really delicious? Mr. Man Who Wants Meat, you know what's really delicious? Those guys in the cave. So he went in the cave, murdered everybody we were supposed to help. And then when we went into the cave, we convinced him, hey, you know what's also meat? Your gnoll friends. Your other friends are also meat. So then he was fighting, killing all the other gnolls, helping us out, and then we finished him off and finished the encounter, right? That's the first time it went through. Which, it already has a little variance to it, and there's other ways you could have done it. The second time, I ended up making, as cliche as it is, one thing I found weird is I ended up making the bard charisma character, right? I ended up making that guy. And that's a very big meme in terms of, like, D&D making the characters. But one of the things I found interesting is when I thought about making like a ranged stealth archer or making like a very very archer focused character that was strong, I had Asterion. I didn't need to, because having two of the same kind of thing, but this wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be great. Maybe I can do another playthrough as Asterion, but it doesn't really make much sense to have two characters like this, you know? So that maybe I'll be the big two-handed whip, but I have Karlash. And she is literally my favorite. So fuck it. She's gonna be my heavy-wearing, big tanky. That's what she's gonna do. And then, well, I thought, what if I was a caster? Maybe I could do that. But then I have Gale, who also seems like a pretty nice dude, and he's my caster. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Of all of the characters that they made pre-designs for, the one they didn't make for an origin story was a bard charisma guy. They didn't. So, and maybe they assumed the player was going to, but interestingly enough, making that bard archetype fit right into any form of party with all of these characters involved, right? Which I found really interesting, but I also just seemed like a good option, just because, oh, now I can support, now he can do the damage, now he can cast spells, she can be my front line, you know, all that great stuff. Also, the voice acting in this game, fucking aces, man. Absolute aces. I cannot stress enough how good they are. And I cannot say how much I enjoy Karlach's voice actor, because she's some, like, big, tough Australian lady, and holy shit, I like it a lot. I just do. But onto this playthrough. I'm a bard, I go up, alright, I'm gonna do my charisma things. Wait, there's no options. Okay, go into his mind, he sees the world as meat. You know, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought it was gonna maybe play out the same thing. But then, interestingly enough, there was an option to convince the gnolls that the other gnolls were meat, so he would go after the other gnolls as normal. But there was a bard option. There was a bard option to tell this fucking gnoll a joke. To tell the gnolls a fucking joke. Of all a joke? To tell the gnolls a joke? It's ridiculous. So I went along with it. And you know what? I went through both roles because I had crazy proficiency bonuses on them. And I told them a fucking joke. And you know what happened? The one gnoll I was able to communicate with effectively, this happened. That gnoll cackled so hard that it affected every gnoll in the entire area with this debuff. Stunned by a wild joke. Can't move or take actions, bonus actions, or reactions until damaged. 2 full turns to set up and do whatever I want. Because I told a joke and it was so fucking terrible that they didn't do anything for multiple turns. Incredible, dude. Incredible. And I wonder what other interactions I could have with other types of characters. It was so much fun. It was just... I just didn't think like that kind of variance would be there. Yet there it is. It's great, man. It's great. Once again, I have to temper my expectations as well as temper my praise, because I haven't gotten that far in the game, and there's always the first part of the game is the most developed, it was in early access long enough, that's why it's so good and so varied. And I almost would maybe go along with that, but honestly, all of the little touches that this game has really make a difference for me. They really make a difference for me. The effort that they put in everywhere made a difference for me. Even a one-off dialogue by just making sure I had speak with animals all the time have been crazy wonderful. I was in a Githyanki camp. I talked to a Githyanki warrior's wolf, and the wolf said he was gonna go on a hunger strike because he was eating too much armor and it was upsetting his stomach. Completely ridiculous. Like, I was absolutely thrown the moment I read it. It's hilarious. It's super fun, and that's just because I could talk to animals. I talked to a blue jay that was super mad that the eagles took over his nest, And he was calling them pricks. Like great. I talked to one of my favorite things is early on in the game there's a little doggy. His name is Scratch. And if you do that encounter correctly and you pass the rolls, honestly, Scratch is worth save scumming for. Please save scum for Scratch. Please do it. And drink your animal potion. Please. You know what? He's waiting by his dead owner. And he's like, no, he's going to wake up. He just needs rest. He's just going to wake up, just needs rest. And if you do the encounter correctly and you talk to him, you're like, hey, man, look. If something goes wrong, follow my scent. You can come back to my camp. And after a while, I had a little doggy at my camp. Every time I went back to camp to rest for the day, I can pet him. There's another encounter where we fought the owlbear and killed the owlbear. But then the problem was there was the cub. We couldn't do anything with the cub. It was scared. It was hungry. We tried to give it some food, didn't want to do anything. Later on, we found out the cub was taken by the goblins because it was so hungry, it went to the goblin camp and ate some of their chickens. So then they started making it play their chicken game as the goblins. And it's pissed at him, right? So then you could do some stuff there, and then you can get the owlbear to come back to your camp. So the owlbear comes back to your camp, he's looking around, he's worried, he's scared, he's hungry. You try and be nice, you try and do things, and then motherfucking Shadowheart. You get a little closer to it, and Shadowheart's like, stay away from that disgusting beast. Ugh. From that moment on, Shadowheart solidified herself as a piece of shit that would not be in my party. From that point forward in that playthrough. Absolutely. Scared him off. I'm like, fuck. But then guess what? The owlbear came back one more time. I was able to get through to it. Able for it to be the companion. And now the cub, he's at my camp. He's hanging out with the doggy. The doggy's like, yeah, he's my best friend. He's like, yeah. I couldn't believe it. It was great. Just little things like that. Just from being able to speak with animals, just from having talk with animals on all the time, because you use it, you have it until long rest, just get the spell, have it on the guy you talk to people with, just have it. It's great. I talked to a squirrel. The squirrel's pissed. The squirrel's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, hey, squirrel, you shut the fuck up. And he's like, all right. And then the squirrel left me alone. There's an entire wild encounter later on in an area that's a temple of Shar with a bunch of rats that has another whole big fucking thing with it, and a completely different interaction that I had no idea I was dealing with. Like, just absolutely crazy. You know? Absolutely crazy. And it's just these little things over and over and over and again that make this game wonderful. The stories you can tell, the wide variety, and I haven't even played an evil character yet, like legitimately evil character yet. Because I'm assuming there's another way you can go through this game altogether by just being that evil character, going through that evil shit, just being evil. An entirely new side of the story, a new 100 hours just to experience that. Holy shit, man. What a wonderful, wonderful experience they have crafted. I cannot praise it enough. To the devs, to the voice actors, to everybody that's worked on this thing. Just fuck, man. Great job. Amazing, wonderful job. I am enthralled with the world. I love it so much. I really do. I don't use the word love often. I try not to. When I use words, I want them to have meaning. Maybe I should say I really like it, but it's hard to not be enthralled with this game. And as someone who's basically been the guy that fell into the pit of competitive video gaming and kind of stopped enjoying games for a long time, I played Overwatch, I played these FPSs, I'm good at them, I'm really good at them. Honestly, if I put the work in, I feel like I'm one of the best. I've receipts to prove that. And it ruined video games for me. Because I stopped having fun doing that. I stopped. And when taking a step back and playing other stuff and playing more story-focused stuff, playing like Yakuza, like a dragon, you know, and this game, I've just been enjoying it so much and having so much fun that even if you're not going to play this game, even if you wait for a sale to try it, please check it out. Give it a shot. You know, just give it a try. And if it's still not your jam, please try and support Larian for what they've done. Because in a world where all of the games that I play are destroyed by microtransactions and designed around them, just having a game like this is so nice that it's really hard to describe how it feels to play. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. I'll probably talk way more about this game. I hope I have more stories to share about this game with the different playthroughs I do. And I hope you all enjoy stories of your own, by yourself or with friends, any of it. I even have a third playthrough that I'm planning to do once a week, almost like a whole D&D session with another one of my friends. Because it's just, I'm cool playing it more. I'm cool spending time with other people. I'm cool just enjoying it that much more. So, this is just kind of me just been gushing about the game. There's not much really else I can say. Or I should say, I guess, actually, no, one more thing. The other thing that they really need props for, I don't know if this is standard in other games, but the fact that your characters have files on them, right? Every character is its own file. I don't have to look for it. I don't have to search through mounds and mounds of saves that I have for these, right? I don't have to do that. I just have the files for these, right? That way you can keep, you can control, you know which guys you're playing with, you know who you're playing with, you have the file ready. It's like I said, the little things, the quality of life is just incredible. So before I go on another tangent, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I do. See ya.